Hey, good Friday morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here. Today is May 17th. I'm Caitlin Francis.
And I'm Caitlin Nuclo. Let's get right to the weather because we want to know how it's going to be for the weekend and today, too. Hey, good morning, Scott.
Good morning, ladies. Happy Friday. It's we're just about at the weekend, as you just said. We saw some clouds. A lot of clouds yesterday with a lot of rainfall in some areas, but today we're seeing clouds thicken up a little bit, but overall it's going to be a much better day. Some sunshine this morning. You noticed our live look at our iCam in stores. There's some clouds out there. Sunrise was about an hour ago, and there was much more sunshine then, but right now we're seeing a few clouds out there. Temperatures on the mild side, upper 50s. And you see a few 60s out there in Bridgeport and New Haven, both coming in at 60. Everybody climbs today into near the 70s, which will be a very big change from yesterday when Hartford area only reached 64 degrees. A live look at our first alert live radar, and you notice it is much less active than it was this time yesterday, so not even going to waste any time on that. Wind speeds, they're generally coming out of the north and east anywhere from 5 to about 10 miles per hour. We did have the possibility for some fog, but with this wind speed a bit elevated, you won't get any fog even in our valley location, so some good news there. Your hour-by-hour forecast over the next several hours and most of this morning shows the clouds begin to break somewhat. Temperatures climb into those upper 60s, even some lower 70s later today. But the all-important weekend forecast, will have the very latest on that all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Scott. Let's get you a check on those roads now this morning here, 7:02. Your drive times and speeds looking pretty typical for this time of morning. Hartford to New Haven, 91, Waterbury to Hereford, 84, and then New Haven to the George Washington Bridge, 95 southbound. Normal delays building down through Fairfield County, along the Parkway especially. We did pick up an incident here. This is in Norwalk, vehicle fire. We just less than 10 minutes ago watched this vehicle fire literally on flames, like flames through the screen. You can see emergency vehicles here with their flashing lights, and so traffic is kind of very slowly getting through this area through the far left and center lanes. We've got the right lane blocked off. This is 95 northbound between exits 16 and 17. Fire appears to be out. We're taking a look at here at our iCam, but again, fire does appear to be out. We will keep you posted on this incident, but do expect some delays through the area. Let's quick check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
7:03 now, and we're on top of breaking news in North Haven right now. That's where police are investigating a serious crash.
Let's get straight back out to Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Marcy Jones live from the scene with updates. Marcy, good morning.
Good morning. Well, take a look behind me. There's a little bit more action going on with the investigation. We are on Valley Service Road, which is completely shut down to traffic right now. You can see first responders out there. We're going to zoom in pretty tight. It is a little bit difficult to see now that there is another emergency service vehicle out there. However, there are lots of detectives kind of walking through exactly what happened here. At this time, all we know is that a serious crash is being investigated. We don't have any details right now on injuries, how many people are involved, or what exactly caused this crash. We do see a maroon vehicle with a ton of damage to the front, and then there's also another vehicle that's pretty much in a wooded area, and it looks like it could be overturned. As soon as we get any more information confirmed, we'll bring that to you, but for now, that's the latest. Reporting live in North Haven, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Meriden police looking for a criminal who attacked someone with a powdery substance at the mall. Investigators say someone threw the powder at a Windsor clothing store employee, and they actually had to go to the hospital. The store was closed as well for cleanup, and now investigators are trying to figure out what the substance was. If you know anything, call police.
Police in Hartford are piecing together what led up to a double shooting that happened in broad daylight yesterday. Someone gunned down two men in their 20s on Homestead Avenue. Now, crews rushed them to the hospital. They are said to be just fine, but police have not named any suspects, and they're asking eyewitnesses to come forward.
A former state leader is now facing extortion and bribery charges after an investigation into school construction projects.
Costa Diamantis, the state's former deputy secretary of the Office of Policy and Management, was arrested on 22 federal counts. Now, he's accused of using his political position to steer no-bid contracts to benefit himself and his daughter. Diamantis pleaded not guilty to all of the charges against him and had no comment outside of court.
Is there anything that you would like to say about your client?
We're going to give no statement at this time. We just got the indictment. We got to review the evidence.
Diamantis is facing millions of dollars in fines and potentially years in prison. The governor's office released a statement saying In part, quote, the governor took action in 2021 to remove Mr. Diamantis from his governmental positions when allegations of ethical improprieties surfaced. Since then, several reforms have been made to the program to ensure accountability and restore public trust. The case heads to court this summer.
This morning, the future of EMS in Wethersfield is on the line. The Department of Health is set to hold another meeting to discuss a deal for Aetna to take over ambulance services and to shut down the local department.
The assistant chief of Wethersfield EMS says this deal would make response times slower and be more expensive for taxpayers as well. But town leaders believe that Aetna is better suited to meet the demand. A virtual meeting about this begins at 9 o'clock this morning. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Caitlin. The time right now is 7:06. What we're seeing out there are temperatures that are certainly very similar to yesterday. But when you see 55 degrees and it's pouring rain versus 55 with some sunshine, that is a very different feel to that temperature. You look at our 24-hour temperature change, it's virtually the same no matter where you are, maybe a degree or two off. They're giving us readings this morning in the mid-50s to even some lower 60s, a pair of 60s from Bridgeport through New Haven. Everybody else looking at those upper 50s. The cool spot up in Salisbury and Torrington, both right now coming in at 54 degrees. We're looking at our satellite and radar across the northeast, and you notice some rainfall out towards the west. By the time that gets here, could have a few isolated showers later in the day tomorrow, but overall the weekend looks pretty nice out there as far as the rest of today goes. 68 to 76 degrees, cooler along the shoreline. A few clouds this morning, getting better as the day goes on, but we have some very warm temperatures on our 7-day forecast. All the very latest on that coming up in just a few minutes.